On the day of the wedding, my childhood friend publicly called off her marriage and confessed her love to me. I knew it, she had been reborn. In her previous life, she fell in love with an illegitimate child who deceived her both in body and heart. He and her stepsister schemed to seize her family's fortune. It wasn't until her dying moments that she realized the person who truly loved her was me. In this life, I too was reborn. Chapter 1. I was reborn on the very day of Eleanor's wedding. The church was pure and solemn, with elegant piano music from the band that exactly the style she adored. Seated in the audience, I watched Eleanor on stage with a heavy gaze. She wore a white floor-length gown, her veil softening her beautiful features. Exquisite makeup made her more stunning than ever, her lips curved in a smile brimming with the joy of marrying for love. Standing opposite her was the groom, my father's illegitimate son, Lucas, the man Eleanor had loved for over a decade. She once told me Lucas gave her a different feeling, that high-society life suffocated her, and only the simple porridge he made brought warmth. Today, she brought her late mother's entire inheritance into this marriage. The ceremony unfolded like a rehearsed play until the officiant asked if she would take her vows. Suddenly, her expression shifted. She fled the stage in panic, her gown nearly tripping her as she scrambled forward, terrified of losing something. I watched calmly as she dashed toward me, then stepped aside just before her fingers touched me. Her eyes dimmed, but she lifted her head, feigning strength. Red-rimmed and emotional, she gazed at me. "Gabriel, I regret it. I just want to be with you. I love you, and I know you love me too." I glanced at Lucas, who'd chased her, and said coldly, "Sister-in-law, please respect yourself." I turned and left without looking back. Eleanor cried out, trying to follow, but her gown's train tangled around her. Her new husband grabbed her hand, blocking her path. Chapter 2. I had no doubt. Eleanor had been reborn, just like me. In her past life, she fell for Lucas, dropping out of school, having an abortion, and breaking our engagement to marry him despite family protests. Her mother's early death left her a vast inheritance, accessible only upon marriage. Lucas, needing funds to overthrow the Song family, deliberately seduced her. They dated secretly in high school. Their first romance led to a pregnancy. Lucas coaxed her into an abortion, which left her infertile. After she broke our engagement, I watched over her in silence. Her stepmother and stepsister Amara bullied her, denying her money, so I sent gifts and cash, desperate to see her smile. But she always ran back to Lucas. I once thought love meant protection, not possession. Yet while she called me the best brother in the world, she mocked me to friends. Gabriel is a dog who comes when I call. Later, after marrying Lucas, she stole my research to give him. My company's upcoming product became his, plunging my business into crisis. Lucas soared using my work, becoming a business prodigy, then destroyed my company without mercy. He even targeted my mother, storming her hospital room and snarling at her. "It's your fault, my mother," and I suffered. My parents were true love. The mistress was the interloper. "You and Gabriel deserve to die." My gravely ill mother died of shock from his words. Lucas, drunk on power, sent men to kill me. I escaped, but Eleanor lured me to an 18-story rooftop. "I'm sorry, Gabriel," she sobbed. "If I don't do this, Lucas will leave me. I stole your research. In the next life, I won't." Then she pushed me off. I died in shock, speechless. After my death, Lucas accused her of murder. Convicted with solid evidence, she went to prison. Amara visited her with a pregnancy test. "Did you think Lucas could love a barren woman? He's always loved me. While you fought your family for him, we were in hotels. You stole Gabriel's work for him. You're pathetic. The only one who ever cared was Gabriel, and you killed him." Eleanor's expression faded. She later took her own life in prison. I watched her fate coldly. When I opened my eyes, I never expected a second chance. This time, I'd not mistake worthless stones for gems. Chapter 3. Leaving the church, I went straight to the hospital. In the room, my mother's pale, loving face made my eyes sting. In my past life, she'd been recovering until Lucas burst in, shouting lies that worsened her condition until she died. "Gabe, what's wrong? Weren't you at the wedding?" she asked softly. I sat by her bed, holding her frail hand. It wasn't important, so I left. Her gaze saddened, and she sighed. "Gabe, some things and people can't be forced. Eleanor isn't right for you. You need a partner who stands beside you as an equal, not a perpetual child. I nodded. I understand, Mom. I've let her go. No more mistakes. Her hand patted mine in comfort. Choking back emotion, I excused myself, claiming work. This time, I vowed no one would harm her. Since moving her wasn't feasible, I hired 10 armed guards from an elite security firm to stand 24-hour watch that only medical staff would reach her. Back at the company, the top-floor lab bustled with biotech experts. My research needed one final push. Using to ensure past life knowledge, I completed the data compilation in 2 hours. The project combining biology and AI that had consumed me since high school. In my last life, I developed human.AI integration tech, allowing minds to function like computers. Lucas stole my results, rushing a flawed AI brain to market without my firewall encryption. His product caused data leaks and brain deaths, but I'd planned to come back with the firewall code. Until Eleanor killed me. Now, the lab experts cheered as I handed over the final report. Chapter 4. Upon seeing my completed results. Boss, you're a genius. You finished the coding in under 2 hours? Oh my God, Mr. Song, that you work faster than a deity. I smiled and shook my head. The remaining progress had been researched in my past life. With these experts' help, I'd merely ridden the wave of memory in this life. That evening, the entire lab celebrated in a private room at a high-end restaurant. Drunk and embracing, the experts rejoiced that years of research had finally borne fruit. Excusing myself for a cigarette, I stepped onto the balcony only to bump into Eleanor. She and her friends were dining nearby, her voice carrying clearly. Anyway, in this life, I'll only marry Gabriel. You all need to help me scheme. One friend cooed. With a face like yours, even I can't resist. How could he be indifferent? Another added. He's just jealous you married Lucas. Coax him that he's spoiled you for years. He'll soften. A third suggested. Why not take the next step? Sleep with him, he can't back out after that. My expression chilled as I listened. How blind I'd been in my past life. Birds of a feather flocked together. Eleanor had no integrity, nor did her friends. As I turned to leave, a familiar voice called, Gabe. I spun, face stern. Eleanor threw herself into my arms, gazing up pitifully. Gabe, why are you silent? Are you still mad? I pried her off. Eleanor, you're Lucas's wife now. Her eyes lit up, clinging tighter. Gabe, are you jealous? Please don't be. I've called off the wedding. In this life, I'll only marry you. Her voice turned saccharine as she rubbed against me. Her absurd words drew a bitter laugh. What makes you think I'd marry a woman who just divorced one man and chased another on her wedding day? She faltered, speechless. At that moment, Lucas and Amara appeared. Eleanor, you just got your marriage certificate, and now you're chasing another man? Amara snapped. Lucas's face darkened. He grabbed Eleanor and snarled at me. Gabriel, she's my wife, that your sister law. Eleanor clung to my sleeve. I wrenched free in disgust. Watch your wife, then. Don't let her embarrass herself. And neither of you deserve that title. Brushing past them, I headed for the private room. Before opening the door, a soft laugh caught my ear. A woman in red watched me with interest. Beside her, a white-clad beauty that features as perfect as a snow lotus, expressionless and cold. She glanced at me indifferently before looking away, as if I were trivial. Intrigued, I entered the room, soon forgetting them. Chapter 5. Eleanor came to the company daily, only to be blocked by security. One day, I witnessed her scene downstairs. Do you know who I am? I'm your boss's wife. How dare you stop me? I'll have Gabe fire you all. She brandished a delicate lunchbox, wearing light makeup the way she thought I liked. Dressed like a college student, she believed she knew my preferences utterly. As I approached, she rushed over, sneering at the guards. Gabe's here to pick me up. Just wait until fire you. I wrenched my arm free and told security, if anyone disrupts the company, escort them out. Call the police for harassment. Walking away, I ignored her choked sob. She grabbed me again. Do you really not love me anymore? You loved me for years. A fool's love, I mocked, shaking her off. How could she act so shamelessly after destroying my life and killing me? In my past life, learning she'd handed my decade-long research to Lucas had already extinguished my love. Revenge on a love-obsessed woman was pointless. The real target was Lucas. This time, his end would be far worse. My firewall code still needed one key encryption owned only by Tech. In my past life, I tried to crack it alone. Now I knew I needed that key. If I secured by tech as tech, our AI brain could launch safely. I'd heard Mr. By treasured his daughter. At an auction, I spent billions on a sapphire-jade necklace. Arriving at his home, I froze. The woman who answered was the white-clad beauty from the restaurant. Bare-faced, her long hair braided. She was even more striking. "Who are you?" she asked calmly. "Gabriel Song. I have an appointment with Mr. Bai." She let me in. Her simple dress revealed slender ankles as she led me. The home exuded ancient charm, unlike a tech tycoon's estate. In his study, Mr. Bai practiced calligraphy. He welcomed me warmly. I presented the gift, my first visit. "I heard you treasure your daughter. I hope this suits her." Mr. Bai approved, smiling. "Mr. Song, you're thoughtful. This is my daughter, Luciana. Lucy. Lucy, this is Gabriel, CEO of Zeus Tech. You young people should chat." He returned to calligraphy. Luciana stored the necklace, then faced me, voice cool. "I know why you're here. Let's talk. The firewall key rights belong to me. I developed it abroad. My father knows nothing." I followed her into another room. She closed the door, then stunned me. "Marry me. Have children with me. Make me a Zeus shareholder. Then I'll give you the rights." Her gaze avoided mine, ears and neck flushed, hands trembling slightly. Chapter 6. Luciana became my fiancée, and news of our engagement spread like wildfire, serving as a prelude to the partnership between Bytech and Zeus. We planned a grand press conference for the AI brain's release, capitalizing on the wedding hype. After rigorous internal testing, the product would be market-ready. As I headed to the hospital to tell my mother about the wedding, I spotted Eleanor at the entrance. She wore a white sundress and crouched on the ground, eyes swollen from crying. When she saw me, her vulnerable gaze lifted. "Gabe, are you really getting engaged?" Her voice cracked, tears spilling over. I nodded expressionlessly. "Who is Luciana? I've never heard of her." She snapped bitterly. "Gabe, are you still mad at me? Did you pick some nobody just to spite me?" Her delusion stunned me. I defended Luciana instinctively. "Watch your tone. Ms. Bai will soon be a Zeus shareholder and lead scientist. She doesn't need your recognition. You gave her shares? You never gave me any." She shrieked. I walked into my mother's room without a word, bodyguards blocking Eleanor's attempt to follow. Just then, my phone rang. "Gabriel, I'm near the hospital. May I visit your mother?" Luciana's voice said. "Where are you? I'll come get you." As I turned to leave, Eleanor trailed me like a shadow. At the entrance, I met Luciana dressed in a professional suit, face impassive, yet holding 2 fruit baskets. When I took them from her, our hands brushed. She was trembling slightly. Amused by her composed exterior hiding nerves, I asked, "Why are you here?" "Having lunch with friends nearby. I remembered your mother is here." She spoke softly. We walked in silence until Eleanor reappeared, red-eyed and accusatory. "Is it her? What's so great about her, Gabe? Don't throw your life away to spite me. You didn't marry her in our past life. Are you reborn too? I love you." Before I could ignore her, Luciana glanced at me, confused. "Isn't this the inpatient department, not psychiatry?" I smirked. Indeed, strange behavior. Eleanor lunged forward, and I pulled Luciana behind me, glaring. "Eleanor, stop. You're scaring my fiancée. Am I not prettier than her? We grew up together, childhood sweethearts. 20 years of affection, and you loved me so long. I love you too. Why have you suddenly changed? Have you been seduced by that home wrecker? Watch your mouth." I snapped. "Insult my fiancée again, and I won't hold back." Luciana peeked from behind me, tone puzzled. I remember her from the restaurant. Didn't she get married? Her obliviousness made her endearing, deflating my anger. Without thinking, I took her hand. She stiffened, then squeezed back. "Let's go. Don't waste time." Security restrained Eleanor as I led Luciana away. In the elevator, alone at last, my palms sweated. She didn't pull away, voice tense. "What kind of girl does your mother like?" "She likes whoever I like," I replied, staring at the elevator ad, my voice dry. "Ah," she whispered. Chapter 7. My mother took an instant liking to Luciana. Her health had improved significantly as she could sit up and eat unassisted. The two chatted amiably about daily life. Though Luciana was reserved, she listened intently to my mother and shared the occasional anecdote that drew laughter. Having lost her own mother as a child, Luciana seemed to thrive in my mother's warmth. In one afternoon, she spoke more to my mother than in all 3 of our previous meetings. As I peeled fruit nearby, my mother opened a small lacquered box, revealing a translucent jade bracelet inlaid with purple gold that a priceless heirloom from my grandmother. Luciana flinched, shaking her head wildly, her eyes darting to me for help. Go on, I smiled. Mom's been saving it for her daughter, law. Unable to refuse, she slipped the bracelet onto her wrist, fingers trembling. I understood her discomfort. Our marriage was a contract. Mr. Bai, aging and diagnosed with early-stage liver cancer, longed to see his daughter married and holding a grandchild before he passed. Forced into endless blind dates, Luciana, who'd remembered me from the restaurant, that saw an opportunity. I, in turn, needed her firewall technology. Our agreement was clear: marriage, a child, then divorce. A win-win, or so I thought. I'd shared my past, parents' bitter divorce, my mother's descent into depression, building Zeus from nothing. My father, a Phoenix man, had stripped my mother of assets in the divorce and reunited with his mistress and illegitimate son, Daniel. Since my mother stepped back, Song Corporation had floundered, making Daniel, now at its helm, desperate to surpass me, driven by insecurity over his birth. To complicate matters, he'd married Eleanor, who was already haunting me. Gabe, walk Lucy out, my mother said. Your work can't wait. Once in the hallway, Luciana grabbed my hand, a rare frown creasing her forehead. Is Eleanor really your childhood friend? I nodded. Do you still love her? She turned away, voice tight. I won't have a husband pining for another woman. Call off the engagement now. No firewall rights. Silent, I led her to the parking garage. When we reached my car, she eyed me quizzically. You, get in. Let's grab dinner. She climbed into the passenger seat, staring out the window. Buckle up. She sighed, fastened her belt, then stole a glance at me. I bit back a smile. On her third furtive look, I said, I don't love her. I used to, but not after she married my half-brother. Oh. Her voice was neutral, but a ghost of a smile played on her lips. What did she mean by reborn? Exactly what it sounds like. I grinned. In my past life, I was betrayed. Now I'm back for revenge. Want to hear more? $50, and I'll spill my master plan. At a red light, something soft brushed my hand. I turned, but Luciana had already looked away. Smiling, I laced my fingers through hers. The rest of the drive passed in comfortable silence, her mood visibly lighter. Chapter 8. On the day of our engagement party, Luciana wore the custom white gown I'd commissioned. The elegant tailoring accentuated her ethereal beauty, and when she stepped into the lounge, I blurted, You look beautiful. She pretended not to hear, attempting to glide past, but I tugged her waist playfully. As her wide, innocent eyes met mine, I fought the urge to kiss her until the door swung open. The red-dressed woman from the restaurant sauntered in, clad in a Chanel-inspired miniskirt. Oops, am I crashing a moment? She teased. I released Luciana, whose cheeks flushed pink, and nodded her way before exiting. Today, I would sign over 6% of Zeus shares to Luciana. Double the initial 3%. What began as a contractual arrangement now felt like something deeper. As the banquet kicked off, we circulated among guests. Business elites from the capital, my grandfather's associates, and Mr. Bai's friends filled the room. My grandfather, though still bitter about my mother's marriage to a poor man, watched us with approval. Suddenly, a waiter spilled red wine across Luciana's gown. As the server knelt to wipe it, her face hidden, I caught a triumphant smirk. It was Eleanor. Luciana's expression chilled as she summoned the manager. The room fell silent until my assistant whispered, Song Corporation had launched the AI brain. I draped my jacket over Luciana's waist. I packed 2 dresses. Change in the lounge. She nodded, casting a final glance at Eleanor before leaving with her friends. The party resumed as I crouched beside Eleanor. Petty tricks won't work. You know I'm reborn. Did you think I'd leave data unguarded? Her eyes widened. You prepared for me and Lucas? I smiled. Reborn and ready. Even reborn, you rely on men. After failing with me, you ran to Lucas, the same man you humiliated at your wedding. Do you think he'll forgive that? Leaving her speechless, I fetched Luciana. Her emerald-green backup gown made guests gasp. Stunning, I murmured, looping an arm around her waist. My competitor just released a flawed product. Too late to back out now. She arched a brow. Then I'll break off the engagement. Too late. I laughed, handing her the share agreement. Her surprise deepened at the 25% figure. Sign up, pirate. I won't let you sink. Biting her lip, she signed. Chapter 9. Song Corporation rushed to release the AI brain ahead of us. Watching Eleanor retrieve my data via surveillance that relying on her past life memories that I almost laughed at her folly. She knew I was reborn. Did she truly think I'd leave critical files in the same unguarded spot? This time, Song Corp's AI was a botched prototype. Users reported severe headaches and failed brain connectivity, turning the launch into a viral mockery. Zeus Tech swiftly released a legal statement accusing theft and negligence. At the scandal's peak, I published an article under my mother's name, detailing how Lucas Song, a Phoenix man, deceived her, used her dowry to build Song Corp, then discarded us for his mistress. Surveillance footage proved Eleanor stole our code, and a leaked video of her wedding day confession to me went viral. Song Corp's stocks plummeted as Lucas and Eleanor became public pariahs. At our press conference, Luciana and I held hands, engagement rings glinting. She revealed a share transfer, 4% of Bytech, worth far more than my 25% Zeus stake. Consider it my pirate's sincerity, she said, blushing as I kissed her cheek. We unveiled the AI brain paired with her firewall as the world's safest biotech. Testing videos showed seamless, secure brain internet connectivity. Launch day saw 1 million chips sell out instantly. Chapter 10. The day before our wedding, Eleanor called from hiding, begging a final meeting for her grandmother's sake. The woman who'd cared for me as a child had made me promise to protect Eleanor, a vow that blinded me in my past life. I agreed, meeting them on the rooftop where I'd died. Eleanor and Lucas looked disheveled. As they pushed me toward the railing, I mocked Lucas. Your mother was a mistress, and now your wife cheats on you. You'll never escape being a second-rate man. Enraged, Lucas snarled. You're just a by-family son in law. I married for love, I retorted. My wife's a Forbes billionaire. Yours dropped out for you and stole to survive. Just then, police stormed in. Alerted by the AI brain during our call. Luciana suddenly rushed into my arms, red-eyed and pounding my chest. You idiot. Did you plan to die before our wedding? I held her tight, vowing no more secrets. Our wedding was intimate. Luciana's Italian-made gown made her an angel as Mr. By walked her down the aisle. When she said I do, my mother wept, and my grandfather sighed, patting her shoulder. I kissed Luciana, knowing I'd finally loved right. Epilogue. In bed, Luciana blushed. We had a contract. I traced the marks on her neck. Dad says his liver's cured. She froze, ears scarlet. Your best friend told me you fell for me at first sight. Was this all a ploy to trick me? Her warmth intensified as I laughed, kissing her again. Outside, sunlight streamed in. This time, I held the future in my arms.